The New York City Marathon takes place on an unexpectedly hot day. Shortly after finishing the 26.2-mile race, one of the runners collapses and dies. What caused the runner's death? We've dubbed this the marathon runner problem, and it's a really important part of Unit 3, Homeostasis in Human Body Systems. Hi, I'm Deborah. Dani, Michelle, and I all really enjoy doing this unit with our students, and we want to share it with you. I'll highlight some of the key topics and assessments in the unit that we've worked on. Feel free to pause the video anytime. This unit is all about how the human body maintains homeostasis. Students learn about feedback mechanisms, including glucose regulation and thermoregulation, and how body systems maintain homeostasis. Sometimes it's hard to link all the content of the unit together in meaningful ways. The marathon runner problem does this in an interesting, engaging way. We recommend introducing the problem at the beginning of the unit. Students will view data about different runners and hypothesize why they might collapse after a marathon. This hypothesis should be revisited and revised throughout the unit. Thermoregulation will be the first feedback mechanism that students are introduced to. They will first explore thermoregulation through collecting data in a lab experience. We also use a 3-level text guide to help students understand the complex diagram of a feedback mechanism. For more information about the color play activity, please click through the Prezi. Remember to come back to the marathon runner task at the end of this chunk so students have the opportunity to revise their initial hypothesis. In this section, students will be introduced to the glucose regulation feedback mechanism. Students explore the endocrine system and begin to look at insulin in terms of its role in maintaining homeostasis. Diabetes is explored as an example of disruption. The most important content for students is how hormone function is dependent on structure. In this chunk, you can use the group learning routine of read, generate, sort, and solve. Students will independently look at data, a graph and a picture, and then collaboratively compare and contrast the glucose regulation in 2 individuals. Remember to go back to the marathon runner performance task at the end of this chunk and give students time to discuss and revise their hypothesis again. An important part of this unit will be completing the Making Connections State Lab, which explores how the circulatory and respiratory systems work together to maintain homeostasis. We've noticed that students have misconceptions regarding the role of oxygen in our body. This is a great time to review cellular respiration. You can engage students even further by showing this really great Magic School Bus clip that helps students understand muscle fatigue even more. And make sure to come back to the marathon runner problem. We've created all the materials you and your students will need to complete this task. In the unit plan, you'll find the actual task, the performance task assessment list, known as the PTAL, sample student work, additional articles to support the task, and example marathon runner data. Thank you for exploring Unit 3, Homeostasis in Human Body.